Beating the World at War campaign places you inside a different game mode where the average player would ask tons of questions. Why are there drawings on the walls? What are these barriers? Why am I only holding a pistol? What is this Bible door? But most importantly, what's that figure walking toward me? And this new thing would introduce one of the most important game modes that Call of Duty would ever have. And this is Nocturne Toten. This is Call of Duty Zombies. Nocturne Toten would open up with an extremely gritty atmosphere. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's somewhat scary, and to the most part, it's an extremely bare bones map. There is a grand total of around maybe 4 weapons on the wall. There's 3 doors to open, and usually you would only ever open up 2 of those doors. And there's a mystery box. Whatever this new stuff was, the new player would be confused, somewhat scared. But we would learn.
We should go find the fuse box.
Verrückt had a different atmosphere over Nocturne Toten. It was more sunny, meaning that the character would probably feel a little more comfortable knowing that they can see everything and anything due to the sun. But it also would put the character on easy, since a public match would split up different players and divide them 2 to 2, only allowing them to come back together if they would turn on the power. But turning on the power would allow them 4 different perks. Double tap would allow you to shoot faster but lose your ammo, since one bullet would be shot, another would follow. Juggernaut would allow you to take more hits from zombies before you're done, and Quick Revive in solo would give the player a self-revive every time it was bought. But in public matches, it would allow the player to pick up their teammates much faster. Speed Cola would just simply allow you to reload your weapons faster. It's a simple concept, but it's also quite powerful. Verrückt had a much different vibe already from Nocturne Toten. Obviously it was sunnier, but it also introduced different mechanics that players would figure out. It was less of turning into a corner and just spraying down zombies until you eventually died, and it was more of training, running around the map and controlling the zombies and knowing the spawns and really becoming better at the game as your time progressed. Now obviously Shi No Numa was a little different from Verrückt, but it also didn't innovate much on it. It basically had the 4 standard perks. But speaking of the perks, there was something called random perk spawns, meaning that there would be certain areas where a perk would spawn, but you would never actually know where that perk would end up being. There was different areas. Quick Revive would be in a certain area, but also Double Tap would spawn somewhere else. Speed Cola would spawn somewhere else, and Jug would spawn somewhere else. You'd never know where a certain perk would spawn every game. Now you could look at this in different ways. Every single game you play would be different from another one, meaning you would have more of experience through the different games you'd play. But also you could look at it as if you're getting pretty much screwed over, meaning that maybe Jug will never spawn until the very end, meaning you're going to have to survive longer without taking much damage. You're only going to be able to take 1 hit. Maybe Quick Revive isn't going to spawn as fast, and you're only going to have 1 chance of doing this whole thing. Maybe Double Tap isn't going to spawn as fast, and your gun is going to be shooting much slower. Maybe Speed Cola won't spawn as fast, and you're not going to be able to be reloaded as possible. There is some random guy just floating up here that I did want to discuss on, but he'll become more important to the story as we progress later. Speaking of the story, let's move on to the new experience, Der Riese. Now Der Riese, without a doubt in my opinion, put in the most staple things in Call of Duty Zombies, side missions like you would turn on a mainframe in one area of the map, then run it back to power. After you did that 3 times, you would be granted an ability called Pack-a-Punch, which would increase your ammo type on some guns. It would increase the damage on most of your guns, and sometimes even rework it altogether. The starting pistol would become just like a rocket launcher, shooting extremely strong, powerful explosives that would kill zombies in your way. But another side mission that was granted from this would also be the Flytrap Easter egg, where you would run to a different side of the map, a certain area actually, look for like a metal panel just floating over there, and you would shoot it, which would start an Easter egg. You would go around the map shooting different items, and that would pretty much just be the whole Easter egg. While small as it was, kind of like my area, It was something new that would be introduced and even improved upon in later games. Now, I would go as far as to say that Der Riese, and actually World at War as a whole, was extremely important to the fundamentals of zombies. It was the kickoff. It was something that just really sparked the community's interest in this game. I do believe that Treyarch took a big risk in introducing this new game mode, but it extremely paid off, and I believe everybody loved it. Nocturne Toten was the introduction of it. It was the bare bones. Verrückt improved upon what Nocturne Toten did and even innovated new things. I'd say that Shi No Numa was kind of the testing grounds, figuring out what people liked and the new stuff that they could introduce, allowing more innovation in the game and more things to be put in that would really show the community what they wanted to see. And then Der Riese went and improved upon all of that, and it showed us what zombies was going to be implementing into what they had. Now, granted, every map after this was really riding on the mechanics of zombies, kind of. It switched up throughout the games, but it really did come from the bare bones map of Nocturne Toten, from Verrückt, from Shino, from World at War. Without all these maps, there'd be no zombies today.